Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is a Thompson model of 1921. We're going to talk a little bit about this firearm and its use in the Tan War, or the Irish War of Independence. So first of all, we'll take, now this is not a deactivated one, this is actually a blank firing reproduction. So if you're not aware or familiar with the Irish War of Independence and the Thompson's role within it, I'm not really surprised by that, because it didn't really have a huge part in the Irish War of Independence. I mean, not that many had arrived in the first place. I think there was a shipment of a few dozen to Ireland, and a major shipment of 600, which was destined for Ireland, but was actually discovered in a ship of Hoboken in New York, destined for Ireland. Those firearms did actually make their way here, but not in 600. They made their way here, piecemeal, bit by bit, and eventually they all arrived. But the first appearance of the Thompson submachine gun in the Irish War of Independence was in June. Again, it made an appearance in July. I think all told, there were only 6 instances of the Thompson submachine gun make an appearance in actions by the I.R.A. against Crown forces in the Tan War, and of those 6, only two instances of it actually being fired. So this is an instance or a circumstance that the gun was actually more, photographs, it was actually did more damage in photographs than in actuality, than in reality. These were distributed among active service units or flying columns in Limerick and Cork and Mayo and Clare, but they were circulated. They weren't actually all issued there. There wasn't enough of them to issue them all there, but they made their way to the flying columns. The members of the flying column were photographed holding Thompson submachine guns, and then those images were accidentally, on purpose, leaked, and then Crown intelligence services would pick up those images and go, oh geez, we're up against Thompson machine guns, this is not good. But in actuality, the gun itself was only used made an appearance 6 times in 6 different attacks. Majority of them were in Dublin. Only one was outside Dublin, and it was just about outside Dublin. It was between Hazelhatch and Selbridge, and they were used in attacks on trains at Drumcondra, and again at Clondalkin, and at Hazelhatch in Selbridge, and another attack in Killester. So we'll take a look at the gun itself. Right, so we have it here. This is a rear sight. It's a Lyman rear sight. So if we look down there, you can see through the peephole, through the notch in the cocking handle, line up with the front blade. I don't know if you can see that. Possibly you can. Hopefully you can. Now this is the sight on this was far better than it needed to be. It is a submachine gun, so it's not going to be, you're not going to get you're not going to get 1 or 2 minutes of accuracy with this. It's just like any submachine gun, it's spray and pray. And it's in .45 caliber, and they shipped with a drum magazine. This is a 50 round drum magazine. They also shipped with 100 round drum magazines, and they seem to be the ones that the I.R.A. got, were 100 round drum magazines. Now the deal with magazines is the more rounds you have in them, the less reliable they tend to be, and that certainly was the instance that the I.R.A. faced. In one, they sent 2 submachine gunners who were seen to be the only ones who had any experience at all. And when I say any experience, it was very, very little experience. the only times they actually get to fire them were they had no training offered. You just got to fire them in on the job training, like guy called Charlie Dalton and William Stapleton were the two Thompson submachine gunners who were part of the squad of the Dublin the Dublin Active Service Unit. And because they had any experience at all, and it wasn't even much experience, it was nothing more than theoretical, the firearm was disassembled and stripped and put back together, and that was the sum total of their training. The stick magazine, they ship with one drum magazine in the case, and 4 of these 20 round strip magazines or box magazines. These are easy enough. The action of loading the magazine itself is what puts tension on the spring. So once you load it, it's good to go. Right. This here is your loading lever. So press up like that. Insert the magazine, close the lever, and you're good. The drum magazine's a different thing entirely. Drum magazine, take that off. You load your rounds in around there. Put that back on. Put that, and then you use this to turn the dial. You turn it 7 times, and that puts tension on the spring to feed ammunition from here into the breech. I'll demonstrate loading this now. The drum magazine loads from the side as opposed to the stick magazine, which loads from the bottom. So you will see the 2 notches there, which line up with these. Oh yeah, forgot to mention the bolt has to be back. Duh. Right. Bolt is back. Then gets pushed in from the side, and the lever goes back down and sits into that notch right there to hold the magazine in place. Now, fire controls are here. We have fire and safe. Move close to the light. Fire and safe. There. And here we have full auto and single. Single, full auto. Now I'll leave it on safe because the bolt is back. Now I'll clearly, this is a blank firing reproduction as I mentioned, so I have no blanks in it now, it's quite safe. If the bolt is back, we can take the magazine out. There. Now, put the bolt forward again. There we go. And we see the heavy, the ribs on the barrel here, it's supposed to dissipate heat from the barrel. It doesn't have a cuts compensator. That will come along in the later 1928 model. We'll do a video on that another time. What did I say? Yeah, it comes in 45 caliber. I think we mentioned that already. We mentioned the sights. This up. Go through this again now. Sorry. Right. This was very, very good for urban clandestine warfare because nowadays it's a big bulky thing, but back then it was quite easily concealed under a large coat. You could slide off the stock like so. Keep it on a sling, possibly underneath a large coat, which everybody seemed to wear a large coat back in the days, even in the summer. So it wasn't unusual to see somebody wearing a large coat in the summer. This is Ireland. We don't really get summer. The rain is just warmer. So the way we put that back in again, just slide on the rail like so, and it's back in place. So that's all I'm going to talk about on this this upload. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something new. Any questions or comments, put them down in the comments below. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll talk to you again soon.